the same thing. Going live. You're live. Well, hello. Can anybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Having a little bit of a problem, but it looks like it worked. So, hello everybody, and welcome to the channel. How is everybody doing tonight? Good to see you guys. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. There we go. Thank God. I was getting worried there. It didn't look like it was going to go. Hey guys. Hey Jim, Lane, Jana. Yes, thank God. Glad it worked. I was getting worried there for a second. I'm not going to lie. I was starting to get a little bit worried. But anyway, hello everybody, and welcome to our first live in about a year. It's been about a year since we did one. So I figure we'll just jump right in and get right into religion and politics. Or not. Hey, Jason. Yeah, what's up from Del Barton? Hello, Del Barton. Glasgow, Kentucky. Yeah, the weather's been really bad here too. I've been up since like 5:30 this morning, and we had I think three storms by 9 o'clock. It was really wild. Hello, Rebecca, Tamara, James, Carla. Y'all bear with me, guys. I'm this, like I said, this is only my fourth time actually doing this. Thank you, Jason. So I'm a little bit more comfortable behind the camera than I am in front of it. We'll put it that way. Hey, Jenny, Tim, Kim, Melanie. Sorry if I miss anybody. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to. Don't mean to. But anyhow, we wanted to touch base with you guys. I am tonight in the luxurious spare bedroom, and I've got tents bigger than this room. But we're going to try to do something, with the YouTube channel. We know that there's a lot of hillbillies, a lot of people that, will watch our videos and they'll have a question about something or a location, where something is, or who knows, whatever the case may be. So we were kind of thinking with this chat platform right here that we could maybe even take it and leave it up sometimes and let you guys, when you see a video, you can jump in the chat and talk to whoever's in there and maybe find out some other information. And we've got several people that we've got in mind for mods. I guess y'all seen a couple of them. We've got, we're trying to get some knowledgeable people too as well, and that way do some good with it and have some fun and, some entertainment too. And, hillbillies getting together and plotting stuff, figuring out that where things are. And, like you see a story on and, well, yes, so-and-so was my grandma.
Don't forget to mention we'll be in the chat.
Yeah, we'll be in the chat as well, obviously.
Sometimes,
But, so like, you see a video. Well, that was my grandma's grave, Leo. You just showed my grandma's grave. We get that a lot, and a little bit later, you'll get another comment. Well, hey, that's my aunt, so that makes you, hey, we're related, that kind of thing. And we were thinking that with the chat option, that you guys could actually, make contact. Hey, yeah, I know so-and-so, and we grew up on the same holler you grew up on. And yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I remember you. So we thought that might be kind of cool, to do something like that. And, I agree. I'm glad you guys agree. I'm glad you all agree with me. I thought it sounded very interesting. Mom was almost 87. Well, thank you, Sherry. It's very nice to say thank you. Thank you. Cheers to Heather. Yeah, you're the boss. Yeah, ain't that the truth? She's my girl, though. But yeah, we fixed her up. Been working on her a little nook back in here, so that if I'm, doing something or whatever, she's got her a quiet place to go do research and look things up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're working on fixing her something up nice too. And when we do start the little chat thingy, when, chat thingy, we'll go with that for now. Kind of hang back in here and we can talk with some of you guys and just seems like it would be a lot of fun. Seems like it would be a lot of fun. No, I'm sorry, Tracy said she keeps wondering if she'll see her family name. I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm sorry. And Billy Hatfield for years, descendant of Devil Ance's brother. Hmm. But anyway, this kind of. Oh, hey Joe, lost you. Oh yeah, I had to restart it, Joe. It wouldn't go through. I tried to start the stream and it just little hourglass thing. Thanks for the dedication and the history. It's the thank you, Joe. It's a lot of fun, man. It really is. It's digging up old history and going out and looking for historic places and things, and it's a lot of fun. You get out and climbing mountains and yeah. No, sorry, Joe said it just cut out again. I like history too. Blankenship and Saunders, Colbranch and Logan. Everyone remember to smash the like button. Uh, Good comment there. It's a good comment. Can you go to the Hatfield Cemetery at night? Um, I don't remember if it closes at such and such time. I don't really remember if it does or not, to be honest with you. Uh, Heather says no, you can't. So there's my little historian.
It's dawn to dusk.
She says it's dawn. It's at the hours are dawn to dusk. Yep, closes at dusk. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Kevin McMahon and I, we just went out the other day. We went trail riding. How's it going, Kevin? I just got my backpack cleaned up today, by the way, Kevin. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you very much. Family Cemetery is on Tick Ridge. Yeah. Hi, Tim. Yeah, I've been. Yeah, Tick Ridge. I've been up there. Hi, Llewellyn. How are you? We're doing good. Thank you for asking. We're doing pretty good. I've been, a little oddball stuff today. Of course, Heather's been, been in there editing. Had to swap out washers and dryers and all kinds of fun stuff. Yay. Uh, Question: do y'all have children, and how many years have you been together? No children, and we're right at 20 years together. Uh, I love your videos with Jack Hatfield. He's a hoot. He is, isn't he? Jack is a hoot. I agree with you. He's a goofball. Of course, that's half the fun. I mean, you can go out and do all the stories and stuff like that, but I'm a firm believer you have to have fun with it. I'm a firm believer you got to play a little bit. Yeah, honeydew list. Go down in history like Rudolph, huh? uh, can we see Heather? If you're in the living room, you can see Heather. I liked Heather's haunts. Yeah, she has some good videos up there. She really does. Uh, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. Next 20 years. Yeah, it's been a fun ride now. It has absolutely been a fun ride. Heather, she's really good at, when we get to the stories and stuff, she's really good with names and dates, and you can mention someone, a Hatfield McCoy, family member. She can tell you their cousins and who their dads and parents and what they did, and just all kinds of just silly stuff that you wouldn't expect, and she just rattled it right off the top of her head. Uh, yeah, playing in a mud hole in a side by side. I agree. I agree. I'm Monica, Dawn, Redneck Mafia. Leo, love your videos. Start looking at my family history, and inspired me to start my channel. Good luck, Redneck Mafia. Good luck. I wish you well. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It really is. Uh, so how did you two meet? We met at a Lowe's in Wilmington, Ohio. I was the plumbing specialist and she was the paint girl. And I stole their paint girl and ran away to West Virginia with her. That's pretty much the gist of it. Uh, Paul, thank you, Paul. Very much appreciated. Webster Springs, West Virginia. Mm. Uh, yeah, Heather, she has a couple other channels. We have, well, several. Yeah. She's been doing it a lot longer than I have. Heather's the one actually that got me into it. She's Heather's the real. I'm just good at climbing hills. She, yes. Let's see. Does she have books? No, we have not. We have not written any books. How are the fur babies? They're doing good. Thank you for asking, Linda. Munchie and Muffin and Moo Moo are hanging out in the living room. They don't go too far from mommy. Yeah, they really like mommy a lot, especially Muffin. He don't go far from mommy. Mommy takes a bath. He sits out the bathroom door and waits. uh, let's see. Jana, my folks come from around Lewisburg. So you guys can help with toilets and paint as well. Oh, sorry, everybody. Sorry. What happened? Oh, that was Heather. Okay. Meadow, yeah. Yeah, Meadow passed away. One of our little ones. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Monica. Very much appreciate that. And they popped up on her screen in the last 2 weeks. She opened it up and been working through them. I'm glad you like them. I really am. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Do the fur babies like to be in the spotlight? Uh, they like to be on the sofa. We have little couch dogs, is what we have. Yeah, they like to be, like I said, with mommy. Rhonda, good to see you too, Rhonda. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry to hear that, Deb. I am. I know how it is. I know how that is. I really do. uh, Paul, no. Let's see. Been raising 6 baby pups from bottle to puppy food. Any haunted videos? We had a couple. We've done a couple here and there. Halloween, we've been known to do a little bit of stuff like that, and the zombie apocalypse. I don't know if any of y'all saw that one. That one was a lot of fun. The super secret government bunker. Don't tell nobody in parentheses. Yeah. Any camping trips planned? Yes, Jim. Very much. I was just out a little while ago. Hi, Angela. Angelia. Yes. Yes, Jim. I was out a little while ago. It just quit raining, and I took the ATV out. I got a new tent that hangs from the trees, and you camp in the trees. And so I just went out and today and scoped me out a couple trees, snapped some limbs so I could find my way back in the dark and stuff. And I'm gonna go take my hanging tent out pretty soon and go give that thing a try. Have you met other YouTubers when you're out filming? Danny and Jack and couple, trail, do trails, that sort of thing. Let's see. My family's from Elliott, Kentucky. Moorhead sitting at the wall watching the Rowan County War. Cool. Uh, Kevin, this is by far my most favorite YouTube channel. You two do an incredible job together. Thank you, Kevin. Very much appreciate that. Thank you. Lori, uh, we'll do our best. We will do our best. Thank you. Uh, let's see. Uh, echo. I need to do something about that next time. Close the bedroom door. I can hear myself echoing in the living room. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Um, oh, yeah, Logan. Yeah, hi, Lenny. Yeah, I thought about the possibility of the haunting video. Logan. Oh, Heather came got the door for me.
Don't forget to mention the camping channel.
Camping channel. Let's see. Yeah, we'll probably be doing some videos with Danny from time to time. Yes, we certainly will. Let's see. Family is from Kentucky, the Howards. I know some Howards, Betty. I know a bunch of Howards. Uh, Paul, I love climbing another mountain. Tell you the truth, Paul, as much as I goof off and carry on and whine about climbing the mountains, I love it too, man. I love getting up there, you know, just the hunt, getting up. It's like turning a hound dog loose or something. He's just happy. He just wants to run, so I get it. I get it. Let's see, gee. Uh, well, thank you, Dave. Very nice to say. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Kevin, we do need a zombie apocalypse update. Yeah, we will definitely be revisiting that. I can guarantee you that. That was fun. Let's see. A haunting video from that old hospital. Yeah, there's a couple good ones. There's a couple good ones. Uh, Downey's in Kentucky. I don't think so. I don't think I know of any Downeys. Betty, my grandma was a Howard. Yeah, yeah, Lenny. Logan is supposedly haunted. I mean, if you believe the old stories, the town carries a curse. So that would qualify as haunted, I would say. Uh, let's see. Around Barbersville, Kentucky. No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. Uh, Avila. Oh, yeah, Avila Dolls. Hi, how you doing? Good to see you, Lisa, Jim. What video was the most fun? Uh, that's a tough one. I would say probably one of the camping videos, the wintertime camping out in the snow would probably be one of my favorite as far as uh, the hunts. Probably the ones where we found Doc and Pliant Mahan, or that's a tough one. That really is a tough one. It's a lot of fun getting out there, roaming the mountains and trying to find some little, it's tricky though, y'all. It really is. It's tricky, but it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun to get out there. Any hillbilly merch for sale? Probably not. Probably not. I got a motorcycle for uh, Jared King TV. I don't think so. I've heard of them. How many ball graves are in your area? There's quite a few. I know of a few. When they first bought the family property. Oh, okay. Hey, Trish, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh yeah, got naders here. Yeah, sorry to hear about that. Wes says would love to hang out with you, but we got naders here in Arkansas. Sorry to hear about that, man. I saw the radar. It looks really wild. We had 3 really vicious storms this morning by like 9 o'clock. It was crazy. Uh, okay. Heather said we will be working with Jack to get some merch soon. Let's see. Daughters from Jamboree. Been doing genealogy. It's very interesting, isn't it? When you start getting into that stuff, you never know what you'll run into. Thank you, Brenda. Very much appreciate you. Did you find out what made you sick last week? I'm guessing the salad dressing. I think so too. Either the salad dressing or the salad. You ever had a video that really affected you or messed you up? Yeah, a couple, Joe. Yeah, a couple of them. Some of them, usually kids, stuff like that. Those kind of, you know what I mean. The weather seems to be getting worse. It is. Yeah, it is. I want a hillbilly hat. Me too. Under a weather watch. Oh yeah, traveling preacher. Tamara's grandpa was a traveling preacher. Did they call him a circuit rider? Because I remember that from one of our stories that was mentioned that he was specifically called a circuit rider. I thought it was interesting. Mm. Hi Casey, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Let's see. Thank you for asking. Mm. Related to the husband and wife that own the Hatfield McCoy Museum? No. Uh, Big Skip. Hey, how you doing? Doing good. Doing good, Big Skip. How you doing? Hope you're having a good night too. Casey from New Jersey. I wonder what's the weather like up in New Jersey tonight. I'll just be kind of curious. Let's see, Casey. Yeah, what's the weather like in New Jersey? Is it cold? Uh, y'all have any green on your trees yet? I would be kind of curious about that. Ours, we've got redbud and dogwood stuff like that is starting to bloom. I'd be curious to see if y'all have any yet. Let's see. The school bus was a hard one to do, Lane. It was. Thank you. Big Skip. The water got pretty high for a little while over today. Got high today. I know it. Like I said, it got pretty wild. Our creek got up, but it never got out into the road or anything this time. 62 degrees. The Craig family. Hello, Craig family. Welcome to the channel. No, he's not, Heather. He's not related. Yeah, I'm related, but yes, I'm related to both sides of the families, technically. From Washington State. I've never been to Washington State. I've never been that far. I've been up the East Coast, down to the Bahamas, and west to the Mississippi. But that is as far as I've. Yeah, what are you gonna do, right? Got a sister lives. Heather's sister lives in San Diego. Go visit her one of these days, and that counts. Cover the whole country. Let's see. Kathy said her trees are blooming. Good. Cold Spring in Ottawa. I'm sure. I am sure. Craig family, how are you? Doing really well. Doing really well. Just relaxing a little bit and getting some other stuff done today. Has anyone been allowed to detect in the pawpaw tree area? I don't know. There's someone that recently, well, about a couple years ago, bought the pawpaw tree site and put in a campsite. So it's now privately owned. I don't know if you could metal detect it or not. Floyd County. Oh, good luck, Trish. Good luck. It's there. You'll find it. The information is all out there. Never seen the east of the Mississippi. I've seen it once. Been to the Bahamas a couple times, but it's not quite the same as west. Leo, my mom and I really love your name. Thank you very much. Thank you, Marcia. Very much appreciate that. How do we get story suggestions to y'all? Just send us a PM. Hillbillyfiles@hotmail.com. You can just send us a message, or you can comment or something like that, or on Facebook as well. So Hillbilly Files on Facebook, and you can get a story to us that way as well. Let's see. Originally from Oregon, living in Washington State. I'd love to go up that way. Just check it out. Anything scary on your cemetery adventures? We've had a lot of strange voices, if that's what you mean. We've had a lot of strange voices that we couldn't explain when you go to play the video, So, I guess everybody gets EVPs if you video long enough, but yeah, we have had what was it, the Warfield Cemetery? I think it was it, wasn't it, Heather? I believe the Warfield Cemetery. There were just all kinds of like orbs and just all kinds of weird stuff in that video. There was a bunch of it. Let's see. Oh, sorry. It's scrolling too fast. Okay. Is there a cemetery in Odd, West Virginia? I don't know. I've never been to Odd. I'd like to go do that one of these days. Go take them a pizza or something. KFC. Show up with KFC. Can't lose, right? Hi, Raymond. Lived in Vancouver, Washington. I would love to go out there. We're being flooded now, Llewellyn. Are you okay? Make sure you can get out of there. If the river or creek's coming up, keep an eye on that thing. When we had the flood just last month, they said 27 feet to expect a 27-foot crest. It was 52. So, always keep an eye on it. If the river's creek's coming up, always keep a real close eye on them. Hey, Paul. Boo. I'd go see the Whitakers and Odd. From Salisbury, North Carolina. Thank you, Carol. Thank you. Appreciate that. Portland. How does that whole hillbilly Bahama thing work? I'm guessing you mean Mr. Boney. Oh, the hillbilly Bahama thing. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the train tunnel under the graves. Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it? That I had to do a little bit of walking to find that one. I thought I had it on drone. I went down and flew the drone down, and I could have swore that I saw it over here by the train tracks, but it was up on top of the tunnel, obviously. But yeah, that one was a really interesting one. The tunnel one. Let's see. Fire tower on Horsepen Mountain, Peyton. Yes, I have. We did a video up there. About an Indian bear battle that was up there. Danny and I went up and metal detected on Horsepen Mountain, and we were looking for evidence of a fight between Native Americans and early American settlers, and we found broken arrowheads and several period bullets. So yeah, we did actually find evidence of a gunfight up on Horsepen Mountain. Imagine that. Found a quarter as soon as I got out of the truck. Ping, 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 ping. Right off the bat. Uh, let's see. Lenore. Yeah, I like Lenore. We're not that close to the Whitakers. I think Odd was like 3 or 4 hours, maybe a little longer. I don't really remember right now. Let's see. Texas. Well, hello, Texas. Cave City, Kentucky. Well, thank you, Lenny. I appreciate that. I'm glad you liked it. I am. I'm glad you liked the video. Where'd that one go? Redneck's gonna interview Jack Hatfield on his channel. Cool. Yeah, I know. It's kind of hard to imagine, your grave and then a train going under your grave, isn't it? That is really weird. No, we don't have any. Casey asked if we have any wolves in West Virginia. We have a billion coyotes, but we don't have any wolves. Glasgow, Kentucky. Heather said Odd is 2.5 hours away. Hi, Lori. Hello to South Carolina. How are you? Third or fourth grade was scalped by natives. Tamara, huh? Judy. Oh, yes. Hi, Judy. Yes, I know. We've seen quite a few of your suggestions and stuff. We know. Absolutely. Thank you for being a supporter and stuff, by the way. You've been around since day one, and seen your name. Thank you. In Tennessee. Lane says, I like your camping videos. I've learned a lot. I don't know if I've learned much, but it's pretty wild. Some of them are very interesting. I'd seem to get myself into some interesting situations sometimes, but it's fun though. Most impressive grave. I would say the most impressive grave that I've been to, doing the videos. I don't know what Heather would say, but I'm going to probably go with the trip, Elvis, and all that stuff. Johnny Cash. When we did that, when I picked up like a little blade of grass, just a blade of grass from Elvis's grave, and a little pebble from Johnny Cash's grave. Just a little, speck of a pebble. Just little knickknacks. Like, I don't know if y'all remember this one. I don't know if y'all remember that little twig. Try to get it where you can see it good. That is the one. Remember when some of y'all remember when I camped out at Randall McCoy's house, where Randall's house burned? That's the burnt stick that I found when I started digging in Randall McCoy's yard. That's in theory. I can't prove it. Okay, I can't prove it. It's just a little burnt piece of wood, and I can't prove it, but it's in the right place. It's a burnt piece of wood. I'm going to go 99% chance that's a piece of Randall McCoy's house. That's a pretty cool little souvenir there. When I did that, Bob, he let me keep it. You can have it. Okay, let me get back up here. Get caught back up. Sorry, get sidetracked. Coyotes, Lenny, we love you too, Lenny. Run into someone deep in the woods that made you feel unsafe. No. Mm-mm. Heather has commented about that from time to time, that she feels I'm just a little bit too fearless when it comes to going out in the middle of nowhere by myself. Heather seems I'm a little bit too fearless, but so far so good, right? We made it back. uh, Coming to visit. Coyotes, yeah, they are. Coyotes are everywhere. Uh, can you make a power pack, Lane? Yes, yes. You mean, I'm assuming you mean like a 12-volt one. Yeah, it's really easy. Battery, inverter, and charge controller. That's all you need. Piece of cake. Building a solar generator. It's ridiculously easy. Uh, yeah, Judy, it seems like there's always a mountain in there. It doesn't matter. If I was to go to my bathroom right now, I'm sure there's probably a mountain that just popped up there since I came back this way. uh, Hey, Gary, thank you. The old firekeeper, huh? Devil Ant's grave looks really cool from your videos. It really is. It's the marbles, the statue, and all that stuff, and a lot of them. They're really cool. And when you're at some of these places, I would imagine it doesn't. Some people don't really whatever, but I do. When I'm like Devil Ance's grave or someone's grave like that, and you're standing there and you're thinking Devil Ance Hatfield is literally 6 feet away from you, or Elvis, or Johnny Cash, or whoever. It's just, to me, it's just kind of wild. I still don't get over that stuff. I'm on a house on. They're going quick. Comments are going quick. Kindest heart and soul. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Come across the graves of John Henry Howard and Henry Dyer. I do not think so. They don't sound familiar. Tim, been watching your channel a while now. I love all the content. Thank you, Tim. I very much appreciate that. We really do. Thank you. That's one of the things, we wanted to do tonight too, say thanks to everybody. We wouldn't have done any of this stuff. You guys, you know where I'm going. You know what I mean. Y'all been supporting us from the beginning, and we appreciate y'all. We really do. My father-in-law saw the Mothman, and he and my husband went hunting it. I'd love to go up there and do a Mothman story. I knew what you meant, Brenda. I knew exactly what you meant. I'd love to go up there. We plan to. We do plan to. Let's see. I think so, Monica. I think, you never know. Of course, there's all kinds of, we got all little, mind script Jack gave me, just all kinds of little souvenirs here and there. You know how it is, just from the stories. Let's see. Wayne or Minifee Ferris? I don't think so. Not that I know of. Hi, Melinda. And Farrell and Curry, we're probably distant relatives. Distant, but who knows, right? Uh, let's see, Carla. I remember that burnt piece of wood. Yeah. Let's see. The page text is jumping. Do you believe in Bigfoot? Heather, okay. I believe in the possibility of weird things that we don't quite know about. So far, I haven't seen any, anything out in the wild. I'll be honest. Bears. I run into bears, bobcats, skunks, rattlesnakes. All of the traditional fare. I run into all of that stuff. But so far, I have not seen a Bigfoot. So far, now I have seen some weird pictures. As a matter of fact, we know somebody that has some really weird pictures that would probably freak y'all out. But he has not posted these pictures, and it's someone that some of y'all know. He has not posted these pictures because in his head, you'll think he's faking it. So he's just kept them to himself. And there's some really, really weird pictures. All right. Thank you, Jana. Thank you. Thank you. It was very nice meeting you too. Let's see. Well, thank you. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Mm, yeah. Yeah. To find a grave. Is there still any animosity between the descendants? That's an interesting question right there. Typically speaking, no, but there's a couple. There's a couple on both sides. There's a couple on both sides. A little, if you know what I mean. A little bit. Bless your heart. Let's see. Generally speaking, though, the families they're fine. Generally speaking, they're just a couple that aren't real crazy about certain particular members of the other side. Put it that way. Uh, thank you, Melinda. Very much appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Mm, yeah, yeah. I can't blame him for not showing the picture either. You got a picture of Bigfoot, and everybody's just gonna make fun of you. Yeah. Uh, thank you, Betty. Appreciate that. Thank you. Mm, wow. Scrolling fast. Squatches. Squatches are supposed to be squattishes around people. Yeah, I would imagine if I was a Sasquatch, I would probably be pretty leery around people myself. Let's see. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Huh. Oh, really? Small town in southern central Kentucky still fighting the Civil War. One flies a Confederate flag, the other a Union. Hmm. Let's see. How you making out with your campsite on your family's property, Bill? Well, to be honest, I haven't done anything with it since the weather got really bad and we started the floods. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you. And the floods all started. I haven't really done much back up there. I kind of been off doing other things, I suppose. But yeah, I still plan to get up there and do something. I'd like to put a little cabin back up there. It's a really pretty place just back in the middle of the woods. I like put me a cabin back there. Just something. It don't need to be fancy. I could deal with pallets and some cute walls or something. Man, I don't care. Okay. Thank you though, Melanie. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. The famous people are interesting, but I love your videos and stories about ordinary people. I do too, Phyllis. I very much do too. The Queen guy from a couple weeks ago. The Battle of the Bulge, war hero. I mean, stuff like that. That's people that you've got all the wealthy, famous people of the world. You've got all the George Washingtons, Abraham Lincolns. All they've got all kinds of people just itching to tell their stories. But like Mr. Queen. He was a war hero, and I'd never heard of him until we did the story. So I would presume that there are probably other people that never heard of the guy, and he deserved to be heard of. So let's see. We have any storm damage? No, we didn't really get. We got a whole lot of rain, but that's about it. I had to do some digging out back today. My storm drains, hillside ditches, had to go. All of it just collapsed on me from all the rain. I had to get out there in the rain earlier today and dig them back out. But we got it. Uh, hmm. Be interested in doing a Civil War story about farmers exchanging gunfire with Confederates. Hmm. Vincent. Yeah, that's something. The Civil War. That's that you mentioned about Vincent. Conscription. Have you ever heard of conscription? The way they did that, that was insane, man. I mean, it's like a group of Northerners, soldiers. They come by your house, Vincent. Right? Are you with us? You them? We're Northern soldiers. You Northern soldier too? You support us? Naturally, you're going to say you're a Northerner, right? Because they're going to kill you if you don't. If you say you're with the South, they're going to shoot you right there on the spot. So, yeah, I'm with you. I support you guys. I'm with the North. Get your gun. You're coming with us. You're going to be fighting with us. If not, we're going to shoot you right here on the spot because we don't trust you. And we did this one story about this one guy. He got conscripted by the South, then got conscripted by the North, and got away and got conscripted again. Now you think about that. Hijacked into the military 3 times on different sides. So that's crazy stuff right there now. That is crazy stuff. Civil War. Of course, I guess, it goes on these days too. Conscription's still a thing. It still goes on. Uh, said you didn't want me to see. Okay. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you. Where'd that go? I just saw it. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, honey. Very much appreciate you. Very much appreciate that. Uh, my biggest dream would be to own my own family farm. Yeah, me too. Just someplace just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Didn't see what's in Ford Creek. Hi, Norm Jane. How you doing? Hi, Norma Jane. How you doing, honey? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Tell Jim we said hi. Uh, Canton Bulldogs. Oh, sorry. On Jesse James' connection to the Hatfields and McCoys. We have done a few. It has came up about Jesse James' connection to the Hatfields and McCoys. Yeah, that has actually came up in a couple of them. Let's see. Yeah, Cowboy Lingo Park. I like that too. Hey, Kevin. Kevin Will. Thank you, Judy. I have James in a tree. Okay. Well, thank you, Dawn. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. Please do a live once in a month. We're planning, Norma Jean, we're planning on, I don't know if you caught it at the beginning of the video. We're planning on doing something, like a live chat kind of thing, a little bit more often because, like we said, like I said earlier, there's a lot of these times, like in these stories, you'll see somebody, you'll tell a story, show a grave, tell a story. Someone will come on and comment, hey, that's my grandmother, or something like that. And we're going to have this open so that when someone sees something like that, they can come in here and jump into the chat and, kind of maybe get some more information or who knows, run into a long lost relative that you didn't even know, and this will be open to all of our, all of you guys, all of our subscribers and stuff will have access to this. So it should be really cool. It should be really cool. Let's see now. Yeah, flood warnings. I saw that, Leslie. I sure did. Thank you, Kathy. Have a nice night. Good night, Norm Jane. Tell Jim we said hi. You and Jack need to do a live chat. Oh, Lord. I don't know about Jack and I doing a live chat. Heather has to edit us quite a bit. Tell you the truth, Heather has to edit us a little bit when we get together. Not right off about the Jesse James connection. There was one, I cannot think of the name of it. I can remember the spot. I can remember the graveyard and telling the story about the Jesse James connection, but I cannot think of the name of it right now. I'm sorry, I can't think of it right now. Heather probably remembers it. Let's see. Any Tennyson Jr.'s grandkids? I don't think so. You ever do any horseback riding and camping on horses? No, not really. It's probably been, oh Lord, it's been many, many years since I've rode a horse. Been a long time, very long time. I'd love to though. Love to go riding. I agree with you, Lori Ann. I agree with you. There really is nothing better than living in the mountains. I went out earlier just to go scouting for a little place to go camping, and just took right up the side of the mountain, and yeah, it was great. It wasn't gone that long, but it was still really nice. I enjoyed it. It was still nice. Excuse me. Denver, Colorado. Hello, Cheryl. I always wanted to go out Colorado. Of course, I always want to go out anywhere out west. I always want to go to the desert too. Maybe we'd all meet, I don't know, we all meet in the desert or something. I don't know. Have you exhausted cemeteries near you? No. How far away from home do you go? Typically, it depends. If we're going somewhere distance, we'll, go and spend the night camp and do stories there. As far as cemeteries near me, I know right off the top of my head, just in the little town of Matewan, I know where two more historic Hatfield cemeteries are, just right off the top of my head that I've never been to. So yeah, there's plenty more. Yeah, Cheryl, it really is, and it's not just the camera. The camera doesn't make it. I know you, West Virginia, looking beautiful, as pretty as it is in the camera. The real thing makes it look really bad. It really does. It's getting really pretty out there too, this time of year. With everything blooming and all that stuff. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Let's see. What did I miss now? I'm trying not to leave anybody out. Trying to, reply to everyone. Jim has Harvey relatives that work in the coal mines. Hmm. Denver is okay, but the Rockies are the best. I bet it is. I bet it is. The high altitude. I'd like to try that. Just you know, go out there and do some rock climbing, and maybe take an ATV or something like that. I bet that'd be fun. Mm. Uh, Thank you, Cheryl. By the way, Mate One High School. Yeah, Brenda stars that her parents went to Mate One High School. Yeah, the old high school. There on the might be on the track of selling that for something really cool. Just rumor has it. So yeah, be on the lookout. Something interesting might be happening. Let's see. If you didn't have snakes, we would be there. Yeah, we do have a few. We do have a few snakes. We have a few snakes and a few bears. Of course, the timber rattlers. We have timber rattlers here, but they're usually up high. And we will also have copperheads, but you will usually find those down in the valley near the water. They're not usually up too high. Mm. Visit the Whitakers. That's an interesting thought, isn't it? The hillbillies meet the Whitakers and show up with chicken. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Just show up with like 3 buckets of KFC. We're here. Scoot over. I would do that too. Y'all know how Ray, Ray talks and stuff, on the show. We'll be watching the show sometime, and Heather and I will be sitting there and stuff, and Ray will say something or do something, and I'll sit there and translate. I can actually translate Ray, y'all. uh, 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 yeah, the movie Make One, it's really good. It really is. Mm, let's see. Grave hunting in Lincoln County. Some. Done some. Uh, Cascade Mountains. That sounds really pretty, doesn't it? It's Cascade Mountains. We could all meet up at Area 51. That sounds like a good idea. Hello from Tennessee. Hello, Tennessee. Heather's brother Steve lives in Tennessee. Uh, Mind blowing how beautiful it is in West Virginia. I agree with you, Lori. It really is. I agree. And it's just about to get really pretty out there real soon. Mm. Hello from North Mate One. Hi, Darlene. Mm. Yeah, Lenny. Yeah, you think I'm kidding? I'm really not. Ray. Yeah, y'all think I'm joking, but so I can actually translate Ray. Yeah. Harper's Ferry. No, I have not been to Harper's Ferry. I'd like to, but I have not. The only a state away, but it seems like a different country. It does. West Virginia does seem like a different country. It really does. I mean, obviously it's not, but it's just to me, it's just where it's so wooded and secluded, and just tons of history and all that kind of stuff. And it's West Virginia's a really cool state. It got a bad rap. For many years. You say that you're from West Virginia. It got a bad rap, but anymore calling somebody a hillbilly's like calling them Batman. It's not an insult. You know what I mean? It's a compliment. You hillbilly. Thank you. Thank you. It's very nice of you to say that. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Where were we? North Mate One. Right, gotcha. Harper's Ferry. No. Let's see. Beautiful area, Harper's Ferry. I've seen pictures of it, but I've never been there. I'd like to go to where the big the mill is. I think that would be really cool. Love your videos about real people. I do too. I do too. It's like you do the stories about the real people. That's the ones no one's ever heard of. Everyone knows about the famous people. But like I've said in the videos before, who tells your story? Who tells my story? These famous authors and stuff, they're not exactly lining up to write my story, so hey. Back on, lost you for a minute. From Naugatuck. Excuse me. Darlene Lawson, I'm from Naugatuck. Yeah, Naugatuck. I've been meaning to go down to Naugatuck, and just kind of show just because of the name, it's Naugatuck. Who's ever heard of Naugatuck? It's not a real big place, but it's pretty cool. It's a cool little place. At Beach Creek, yeah, we've done quite a bit of research up in Beach Creek. Found quite a few old graveyards up in there. The Civil War, Becky, I do too. I like a lot of the Civil War history, and it's just a different time. It's just something that we can't comprehend. You take somebody that fought in the Civil War. I mean, it would be like, can you imagine? We were talking about this earlier. Could you imagine bringing someone from the Civil War up to our time, to today, right? And bring them in the future, right? They wouldn't know how to operate a phone. They wouldn't know how to drive a car. They wouldn't know how to pay their bills. They wouldn't know how to do anything that we do on a regular basis every day. Same thing. Look at it the other way. If you took us and put us back in the days of the Civil War, there's going to be a problem, right? Because in 2 generations, humans have forgotten, millions of years worth of how to survive, on their own in just a couple generations. So, it's just kind of interesting, just something about, just made me think of that. Let's see. Adirondack Mountains in New York. I could listen to you talk all day. Love the show. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Morgantown. I've been to Morgantown. I like Morgantown too. Lenny, never had the chance to visit the East Coast. It's really nice. You'll like it. It's not, you guys have some serious elevation changes out there. We've got a lot of mountains, but they're not nearly as high as yours. Nowhere near as high. Charleston, South Carolina girl. Bristol, Virginia. Okay. How about a West Virginia feral people? Everyday people stories touch my heart too. Lenny, I know what you mean. Naugatuck sounds like it's in New England. It kind of does, doesn't it? Naugatuck, New England. It does kind of sound like it would fit. Any plans for videos in Perry County? Yeah, we've got plans for pretty much all over the place. I think the last time she mentioned it, Heather had 200 and some odd videos that were on her to-do list. That's not counting the ones that, just pop up from time to time. Go to King Cole Highway. I bet it would be with a telescope on a clear night. I bet it would. I bet it would be pretty. Richmond, Kentucky. Yeah. Melissa said calling somebody hillbillies like giving them a superpower. It is kind of, isn't it? It is. Oh, really? Hang on. Darlene Lawson, my husband's grandparents and mother are buried where Goldie Ray is. That's cool. Most. Yeah. Ain't that the truth, Lori Ann? Ain't that the truth? Mm. Hi, Don. A Canadian here. We used to drive through West Virginia on 77 to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, West Virginia's, yeah, it's a pretty little route, isn't it, coming down 77? It really is. Thomas said the last time there was in 1987. It's changed a little bit since 1987. A little bit. West Virginia is prominent in our family history. Spotsylvania Civil War battleground. Yeah. Hmm. Llewellyn, Richmond. I thought we had crooked roads here in southern Indiana, but nothing like yours. You really do meet yourself on a curve. There's one, Route 52 goes from Williamson to Del Barton. Locals know the one I'm talking about. You're going down the other side, it's just, loops back on itself over and over and over and over. And back when I was younger, I used to drive over in Del Barton about 4 a.m. in the morning and just come blasting all the way up through that mountain just for fun. Yeah, just to enjoy curvy roads, curvy roads. Mm. Kari Beasley would like to see you expand to other areas. Love the channel. Thank you for saying that. And yeah, we plan to. We do. We plan to. We plan to do some, traveling and, do some hillbillies on the road kind of thing. Hillbilly road show. Oh wait, that's been taken, ain't it? Never mind. We'll work on that. Uh, uh, Whites from Boone County. No, I don't think so. Uh, an Okie is similar to being a hillbilly. There you go. I like it, Lenny. So my kin are from Oklahoma. So I imagine being referred to as an Okie is similar to a hillbilly. I love at the end of the day being a country girl. I feel you, Lenny. I know what you mean. I really do. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you very much. Uh, John, hi from Point Pleasant. Hi, John. How's Point Pleasant doing tonight? Uh, LKNH, how do you find death certificates for all the people you research? Do you use a specific site? No. Heather has an entire list of stuff. She's got several memberships to different things, Ancestry, My Heritage, stuff like that. But that's where a lot of it comes from, and just old records from all over the place. Um, I guess you get into genealogy, which she that's more her thing, to be honest. But once you get into it, I guess you just learn, the little places to find all the little details and things. But she's gotten pretty good at it, hasn't she? She's gotten to be quite a little investigator over the last little while. She's getting good. Let's see. Hmm. Hello from the prairies of South Dakota, where you can see for miles and miles. Shirley, that sounds really nice. That really does sound nice. The only thing is the lack of mountains. I lived in Ohio for a while, and as much as I liked it, I really liked Ohio. I really did. But totally flat. I'm used to my mountains. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like the land is giving you a hug or something. It keeps storms away and keeps the wind off of you. I just like my mountains, but I like stuff like that too. You see stuff like that on TV. Prairies that just go on and on and on and on and on forever, and it's just like, I don't know. You'd just be standing out there, and you've got a neighbor 6 miles down the road, and he's on his porch. You're on your porch, He waves back. I don't know about that. Here, you can't really see your neighbors for very far. You got a mountain and a million trees in between you and all of your neighbors. Yeah, old country roads. Yeah, Covington, Georgia, and Carlton, Georgia. Wonder if those are close together. Covington, Georgia, and right below it, Carlton, Virginia, or Georgia. I like hillbillies on the road. It does sound fun, don't it? The hillbilly. You know what I like to do? Y'all know the thing, the Beverly Hillbillies, right? Y'all remember the show, the Beverly Hillbillies, right? You know the house where they lived in. I would like nothing more. That's on my bucket list. If you're going to have a bucket list, that's on my bucket list. Is to stand in front of that building, in front of their gates, where the Beverly Hillbillies lived, and recreate that picture. That is that's on my bucket list. I know it's weird. I know it's goofy, and I know it ain't got a thing in this world to do with reality. But I don't know. I still want to do it. I just want to. I've always wanted to do that. That's come up. If we could go anywhere and do anything we want, that would probably be top 10 list is go to the Beverly Hillbillies mansion and recreate the picture out front. Sounds like fun. Let's see. Mountains of Arizona, huh? Wow. Pamela Wooten. Thank you very much. Thank you, Pamela. Fletcher Cemetery. Let's see. Melissa Franco. I would love for someone to add the graves from the Fletcher Cemetery. Where's the Fletcher Cemetery at? Which town is it in? Well, maybe see what we can do. Let's see. A coal mine tour in Beckley. Yes, there is. There is one. You can go inside the old coal mine and check it out. They do a really cool tour, from what I hear. Yeah, Kevin. I'm from Ohio, but those country roads call you. They do, Kevin. They do. Ozark Fox. Really, you've the hammock camping. I'm getting ready to try that. I just got one. I'm getting ready to try that. Ozark Fox was talking about that the hammock. Be curious. Did you use like something in the bottom of the hammock? Because when you're sleeping in a hammock, it just looks to me like you're like in a U shape. Seems to me if you take like a bed, puffed up, air bed, and put it in the bottom, would kind of level it out. No. Oh no. I haven't really got the chance to experiment with it yet. I just got it. Well, I got it about a week ago, but I've been hauling it around ever since. But I'm going to try it soon. Let's see. Hey, Steve, where'd you go? Hey, Steve, how you doing? Steve Ball, it's Heather's brother. How you doing, Steve? Good to see you again. Good to hear from you. Grundy, Virginia. Let's see. Washington State. Norm, what Jim? I thought Jim isn't Jim from somewhere near here. Norm Jane, and I thought you'd said at some point that he was from back this way. She mentioned they're out in Washington State. I was just thinking or that you'd mentioned some point that Jim was from back this way. Could be wrong though. TJ Murphy, you should have. Thank you, by the way. We should have visited the haunted train tunnel over here at Beach Creek. That sounds good. When you want to meet me there. That sounds good. Haunted train tunnel. I'm in, man. Let's go. Get your shoes on. Jason, do you still take requests on finding a grave and how to contact you if so. Yes, we do, Jason. From time to time, we still do the Lost Lives series. You can contact us through the Hillbilly Files at hotmail.com or through the Facebook page, either one, if you'd rather just, send a message or something, however you'd rather do it. But yeah, we do still do those from time to time. Any coal mine cemeteries in or near Pike County?
Facebook page does not work.
What do you mean?
There's no way to message. The message is dead. And there you can only email.
Oh, okay. Heather said that.
Email's the only way to contact us.
Right. Heather said the email is the way to contact hillbillyfiles at hotmail.com. That would be the best way. Well, she said that there's something about the Facebook. That's right. If you're not a friend, it puts you in that weird category where you don't ever see the message. Okay. James Holbrook. I live in Ohio, about 4 miles from the river. I can be in Kentucky in about 10 minutes, West Virginia in about 15. People call me a hillbilly and tell me I'm a holler baby, born and raised in the head of the holler. Well, yeah, I get it, James. My mom, she swore by living up in the head of the holler. She said that the whole family, that's where they wanted to be, was way, way, way up in the head of the holler where nobody would ever see them. It's just, I get it. It's like when you go camping, you don't need to stealth your campsite. Why do you want to? When you go camping, am I the only one? Can I honestly be the only one that when you go camping, you don't do it. You don't actually do it. But you want to camo the whole thing, You want to camo the car, camo the tent, camo the fire pit if I can. I don't know why, but you just want the whole thing. It's totally hidden. I don't know why. Don't know why. Just I want to though. I might do that. Just Washington State, but Jim has relatives. Okay, that's what I thought. TJ Murphy, anytime you want. There you go, man. Let's see. And Steve. Okay, so Covington, they're different places. Kevin says, I've used your videos as inspiration to go see many things. You know what's weird, Kevin? You know the weird thing? We've done that before. We've been researching a story about somebody. We'll just call him Bob Smith, and trying to find out what happened to Bob Smith. So you get to looking, and before you know it, we've ran into one of our videos where we mentioned Bob Smith as, in a footnote to another story. So yeah, we catch ourselves learning from ourselves from time to time. You go back and you try to research something, and there's a story that you did that just happens to have the answer to the question that you're trying to find. So that's kind of weird, when you're learning from yourself. Or I tell you something else too. Is weird. Like when you're sitting around, Heather was editing earlier today. She's sitting on the couch. She's got the laptop. She's editing. And, it's me talking. And we had one of the camping videos up on the TV, to preview it, just to make sure there's no, really bad errors or anything like that before you go public with it. Right. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to me on Heather's laptop, and a totally different video of me is playing over here on the TV. And it just dawned on me all of a sudden. Her must really get sick of me. She must really get sick of hearing my voice. You would think, would you not? You would think Heather would get pretty fed up with Leo's voice. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Okay. Leo, can you explain what a holler is? A holler is a hillbilly term that, you know how you'll have like a mountain and you'll have a valley come down between the mountains. It's a really long valley that will follow a river line or a creek line between two mountains. The mouth of the holler is where you come into it, and some of them, they'll go for miles and miles and miles and miles way up through there. You have little wide spots here or there, and wherever there's a little wide spot, a level spot, you'll have houses. And other than that, it's just a little narrow, winding road about this big. Okay, it's a little bit bigger than that. But it goes all the way up and through this holler, and you'll have just these little spots you have with houses. The mouth of the holler is the beginning, and the head of the holler is the end of it. And we also have what's known as holler people, and that is a totally different story for another day, I do believe. But yeah. It's West Virginia, y'all. We do have some, West Virginia. Okay, where we at? Raised 12 kids. Huh. Brenda Starr. That's really cool. Midwife for hundreds of children. Yeah, there's safety in the holler. James Holbrook. Yeah, you're right. There is safety in the holler. You think about it. Somebody has to go through to get to you. Somebody has to go through everybody in that holler to get to you. Yeah. Let's see. It just proves that she loves you, Heather. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it does. Heather said we are holler people. We're the holler people. She's kind of got a point there. I can't really dispute that. Can't really dispute that now, can we? Okay, Jan, I will. So leaving the gas can outside the tent, I will. If it's not raining. If it's raining, I might have to, Okay, the Vampire Diaries. Yeah, all right. I know what you're talking about now. You're welcome, Lenny. No problem. Scarborough. Lawrence County. Yeah, I've been there. We went there a few times. We did up Huntington and did some videos up in Huntington. That was very interesting. It's a rainy, stormy day. Those are always interesting. You get out and you're expecting, the weatherman says it's going to be a beautiful day, and you get out there. You've already drove for a couple hours, whatever, spent all the gas money and all this stuff, and you've already got there. Guess what? You're not going to come back and do the video at another day. You're not. You're going to get out of the car and you're going to go do the video in the rain. That one Heather did up in Huntington, that was a really good one, though. It was really cool. Sometimes that stuff adds to it, but sometimes it's, just not good. Okay, where we at? Country folks can survive. Yeah, we're pretty good. We're pretty good, ain't we? We go get catfish. We have to. That's what the song says. Let's see. Norma Jean, Leo Jim wants to compliment you too on the how in depth the cotton top video was. The courtroom, all the details. That really was a really cool video. I very much enjoyed that one. You know the courtroom, and I've had to go back to the courtroom a couple other times for other stuff, and just it's an amazing old building. And you're standing there and you're thinking, all the amazing stories that took place. Right where you're standing. This is the spot where Cotton Top was sentenced to death. This is the spot where, this is the spot where, this is the spot where, this is, and it's wow, and you're sitting in that chair, it's really cool. It really is. It's really cool to go and like finding these old sites and old lost things, raw holler, that mass grave, up there. That was just a story that we'd heard about. And, we weren't really expecting to find a whole lot. But when we got up there, that's when we started, that's when I found that great big, had those, like so, and then the other one, little seats and benches. And I mean, it was obviously, this is obviously a memorial that someone has put up here. The mass grave story is, this is probably true. There's a memorial right here. There's no individual graves marked, but there is a memorial. So that's pretty wild. When you're running up on something like that, it's very interesting. It's lost history, and you're out there and you're doing this stuff, and just through some little tidbit of information that you found, and you go out there and you find something, and you're just you walk up on it. And you're like, oh my God, it's right there. It's real. And it's just, it blows your mind. It really does. It blows your mind sometimes, the things you find, you get out there. Okay. All right. And Jesse, I'm glad, Jesse, glad to meet you. Glad to see you. Dale Barton Farley's. Roy Farley, Dale Barton Farley's. Any relation to Farley's? Farley's Cash Store used to be down by the old grade school. The mouth of that holler. I can't think of that holler. Ralph Brewster, old man, lived right across the holler, across the creek there. And I think that was some of your family, as a matter of fact. Let's see. My aunt rented over there. She rented a house there. That's how I know all them. Andy Hunter, who has got 80,000 cousins and now they all know who you are? I think it's probably me, if I'm guessing. Let's see. If you're watching, give Heather and Leo a thumbs up. Thank you. Let's see. Come across any mean or hateful people that wouldn't let you go onto their property or get to a cemetery? Marshall Wallace. No, I have not. I have run across, let me think, a couple that I thought might be, but by the time you get to talking to them, everything just seems to work out great. The thing about hillbillies, I mean, unless you walk up on their moonshine still, they're going to be pretty cool people. Usually, but that's just a lot of times just having to go to go up, knock on somebody's door. Hey, I usually I start off the same way. I'm not a salesman and I'm not a politician. I was kind of hoping you could maybe give me some information about this graveyard right back here behind your house. That's usually how I start that off. And usually if it's family, if they have family up there, they're, usually very forthcoming with information. Yeah, this is my mom. and this is my uncle over here, that sort of thing. Um, I haven't had anybody refuse me access to this day. I've had a couple stop, and want to know what I'm doing and who I am. But, once I explain, who I am and what I'm doing, I have never had anyone tell me that I can't go video. So I thought that was really cool. So far, so good. All right. Let's see. Where were we at? Okay. There we go. There we go. That's where I was at. Holler people are hillbillies that live at the foot of the hill. That's about right. Yeah, that's a good analogy too. Thank you, Jesse. Very much appreciate that. Oh, you're from Elk Creek. Yeah. I know exactly where Elk Creek is. Down by the Rainbow Bridge. Roy Farley. I know where you're talking about. We used to fish down there a lot. I jumped off that bridge once or twice when I was a kid. Haven't done it lately, though, to be honest. uh, let's see. Will you return to Bull Creek Webb Road area? Never know. You never know. We run into stories all the time where you have to go back to this grave or that, this place or that place to get, just a little tidbit of video, about something. It's kind of wild, like the whole YouTube thing in general. It's just, like I've mentioned it before, and it just kind of blows my mind every time I do it. That you leave the house and you think you've got all the story down pat. You know where you're going. You know what you're looking for. You know the story you're going to be telling. You know the people involved. You got this. You got it down pat. You know what you're doing. You got this down. You got no problem. I got this. And then you get there. And well, now wait a minute. If this building is here and that corner sticks out of that building, there's no way he could have seen from there to around that corner of that building. And then when you get there and you start looking into this stuff and it starts blowing the story apart. Now that's the weird part. That's the weird thing. Well, how in the world did this reporter get that name or infer that from reading this, or something like that. And then when you get there and you realize that 2 and 2 is 3, it's not 4, it's 3. So, that's really weird. That is really weird when you get into it. Let's see. Heather could write a book. Probably. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. You scroll once and it jumps all the way down to the bottom. There we go. Yeah, the Uncle Jim Vance. Yeah, that was a good video too. That was a good one. I like that. Clyde Dillinger. Hello from Scotland. I love your video. Love watching your videos. Love the Hatfield McCoy stuff. Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello from West Virginia. Janie Markham. Hello, cousin Leo and Heather. Hi, Janie. Marla Donovan. Thank you, Marla. Appreciate that. And don't steal their pig. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's weird. The Hatfields McCoy, the whole hog thing. That a lot of people think that the feud started over the hog, which of course it didn't, obviously. But to think about it, a hog back then, a hog was the difference whether your family would make it through the winter or not. A hog it wasn't just a hog. It was a big deal. It's went months and a half, 2 months worth of food, right off your kids' table. So yeah, it's kind of wild, the hog thing. I just always thought that was weird. People will say, did they really get into a feud over a pig? But well, no, they didn't get into a feud over a pig, But at the same time, the pig actually had probably 100 times more value than most people actually, would infer onto a pig, you know, because I mean they used all of it, they used all the pig and it was a food, it was a big food source. So big deal. All right. Mm, let's see. Somebody, Marla, how did you and Heather meet? And Kevin, Marla, they both worked at Lowe's in Ohio and met there. That is really cute. I like that. That was cute. Mm, let's see. Many of the Appalachian people have blood connections going back. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Going back to Jamestown. That is true. There's a lot of these what was it, 4 or 5 families, original families that I mean they just go way, 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 way back to, original founders. It's yeah, it really is. Uh I remember the friendly little dog. But have you ever had a situation that with a dog that wasn't so friendly? Yes. Yes. I have had situations with very large, very angry, very hungry looking big dogs. The trick to it is to pretend you're his buddy long enough to get by him, and by the time he figures out you're already gone. Huh? That's the trick. No, it's so far. I'm usually really good with dogs for some reason. I don't know why. I just get along really well with dogs. So far so good. I guess it's right up there with the bears and the copperheads. So far so good. Yeah, the video with a little dog followed me around all day. She was really cool, wasn't she? That little dog just yeah, I like that too. She was a good girl. That was friendly. That was cool. Uh let's see. Yeah, TS, a hog was a year's income, not just a pig. That's a good point. That's a very good point. It probably was about, it's a lot of money. A lot of money to lose. Well, thank you, Tamara. Love having dinner with you guys most nights. Thank you. Uh, let's see. Fate brought you two together. uh, Jim, do you still have your pop up? Yes, I do. It's still we've still got it. Uh, been doing a little bit of remodeling on it. I took all of the plumbing out of it from the water going in, the storage drains. I took all of that out and converted it over to be. I'm going to use that area for a solar generator. When I'm out alone, and when I've got the dogs, it'll be a kennel. If like Heather and the puppy dogs go, we can use it as a kennel, so we can set them up. Nice little place to stay. But yeah, the little camper's doing really good for. I mean, 27 years old, man. You can't beat it for that kind of age. Of course, my truck's a '04. It's right up there. It's what 21. I've been meaning I've been meaning to have a birthday party for my 4x4 truck. Now, you guys tell me if you think this is weird. I'm serious. I'm not playing. I'm not joking. I've been seriously considering. My truck is 21 years old. We've been through a lot together, me and my truck. And, a lot of people, they, hillbilly this, hillbilly that. Let's see them out hillbilly a birthday party for a 4-wheel drive truck. Let's see somebody out hillbilly that. No, we've been through a lot together. I'll just be honest, we have. But she's still running. She's still running, 21 years old. Oh, Gregory, I laughed my butt about the video about the guy who loved pie. Yeah, there was a whole bunch of, like I said in the video, there was a whole bunch of really low hanging fruit, really good jokes. I was being a good boy. I was being totally good, didn't do none of that. I mean, they were right there too. Good joke. But sometimes, man, you gotta rise above, I suppose. It would have been a good one. There was several good ones in there. Let's see. Any reason for a party is a good reason. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? For real, mine's a 2003 and strong's ever. Trucks need to be cherished. Show them automakers what a mistake it was to cut back truck production. That's a good point. That's a good point. But anymore, if you get a hold of a truck, man, you better hang on to that thing. It's not like you could just run out here and buy another one. A truck costs, more than your house these days. You used to be able to get, that kind of stuff, but nowadays, man, a truck costs more than your house does now. So, yeah. Thank you, Jan. Thank you very much. Thank you. Chevy 1-ton square body. Yeah, I like those. I do. Let's see. Yeah, thank you for putting the gas can outside. I will put the gas can outside. On the bright side, though, it was actually a diesel can, and it's gas. Gas is explosive, but I don't think diesel's not. You have to physically light diesel. So yeah. But yeah, I will make a point to sit that out there if it's not raining. As long as it's not raining, we'll put it under the car then or something under the UTV. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Used vehicles. Yeah, used vehicles are absolutely through the roof. I'd hate to go, buy a truck. I think my '04, like I said, I think my '04 probably books for close to what we paid for it, 16 years ago, 18 years ago. I think it had 13,000 on it when I got it, something like that. It wasn't a lot. Yeah, that's true, Phyllis. You can work on older vehicles and stuff like that. And I think they do it on purpose, to try to take the shade tree mechanic out of the loop, that kind of thing. Uh, you have to bring it. They want you to bring it back to a dealer, of course. You got to have bucks take one to a dealer. A local guy. The dealers are no. Well, thank you, Gregory. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. That he always gives us our videos a thumbs up, regardless of what it's about. Thank you. I appreciate that, Gregory. I appreciate the support. We do. It helps. Every little thing like that helps. It sure does. Older vehicles before computer parts can't be tracked. Yeah, I know. that you get old carburetor engines. They're immune to EMPs too, nuclear blasts. You just drive off anyway. Well, guys, this has absolutely been fun. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And like I said, we're going to try to do this a little bit more, just kind of hanging out and just having some fun. We'll try to get some other stuff going on, all this kind of stuff too. But that's it. Yeah, it's been raining nonstop. Uh, mm. But anyway, like I said, we're gonna try to do this a little bit more often, and just kind of have some fun with it. Kind of get to hang out a little bit, get to know some of you guys a little bit better, and answer some questions. And maybe you guys can get together and just, hey, I'm related to so and so too. And well, yeah, you did a story about so and so, and the other guy comes along. Yeah, well, yeah, that's my uncle or my dad. Well, that makes us cousins. Yeah. So I think it would be, I think it would be really cool. I think it could be really cool. And like I said, we'll have a thank you, Captain Spaulding. Thank you. And, like, Joe Clark, he's in here. He's a very knowledgeable, he's a very knowledgeable person. And, we've got a couple others too, that we're going to, and maybe even have, do some interviews, with some other people and, just try to have some fun with it, just do some lives and run with it, just try, like I said, have some fun with it. But anyway, guys, I guess I would sit here and run my mouth all night long if y'all let me. Just saying. Lady, thank you very much. I'm glad we got to hang out too. It was fun. Thank you. Uh, thank you, Jan. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, so glad I caught your live. Yeah, it has been fun. It has been fun, guys. Well, folks, it looks like we're about an hour and 47 minutes into it. But I guess we may as well go ahead and probably call it a night. I'm just about out of coffee. So yeah, it's get desperate times back in here. You know how that is. We'll have to come up with something. Okay. Well, guys, anyhow, like I said, we'll be in touch. We'll do make a Facebook post and some posts on here as well. When we get ready to go ahead and try to start with the little hillbilly chat thing, and when we start doing some videos and getting some uploads, and to correspond with them, yeah, it should be a whole lot of fun. And there should be, like I said, there should be a whole lot of other connections too now, with all this stuff going on with using this right here. It's always been, us, we go find something, we go video something, we share something in the video. When with this, we're still doing all of that stuff, at the same time. But then on the back end, you've got all of this, going on, all of you guys in the background. Like I said, hey, that's my grandma. Hey, that's my aunt. Hey, that's my, whatever. So it should be really fun. Should be a whole lot of fun and should be a whole lot of interesting connections too, right? Well, so and so, yeah, he was a war hero. He did this, he did that. So it should be really fun. Should be a whole lot of interesting connections, like I said. But anyway, guys, I truly hope that you guys have had fun tonight, and I hope that I didn't bore anybody to death too awful bad tonight. Uh, if I did, bear with me. I'm still new at it. It's my excuse, and I guess it's as good as any. Uh, but anyhow, guys, thank y'all all very much for being with us tonight, coming and hanging out, and thank you for supporting us. All throughout this time, watching the videos and all this good stuff. And we just wanted to say thank you and how much we appreciate you.
He wants to say hi.
Hang on. Come on. This is Muffin. Muffin wanted to say hello because
15.
yeah, he's 15. This is Muffin Puppy. This is one of the young ones. This is one of the young ones. Yeah, him's a good old doggy, ain't he? He's a good old doggy. Yeah, Muffin Pup's a good old dog, ain't he? Oh God, where's Mommy going? He's a mommy's baby. He's a mommy's puppy. Ain't you, Muffin? Ain't you, Muffin? He's a mommy's baby dog, ain't he? All right, guys. We'll see y'all a little bit later. And like I said, thank y'all for all coming along. Hope you had a little bit of fun. And we will see you guys on the next run, next time around. Y'all have a really good one, like I said. And thank y'all. And good night to everybody. See y'all a little bit later. Now, how the heck do you stop this thing? You think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Okay. I don't know. I've only done it a couple times. Okay, that'll do it. Gotcha. Good night, everybody.